Vibe Show 97.9. Y'all already know the vibes, man. We got an amazing show lined up for y'all tonight. Y'all already know how we do it. It's nothing but a vibe and good energy over here. I want to shout out everybody, man, that's commuting right now. Like I said, if you might be off, you might be heading in. Either way, you went got a bag, or you going and get a bag. Either way, you're tuned in and you're locked into the hottest show on the planet with the most amazing guest on the planet. Y'all already know how we do. Y'all keep it locked in, man. We got an amazing guest coming up tonight on the show, the very lovely Shanequa Reed. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked in. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Oh. Vibe Show 97.9. I'm your host, the one and only Kano the Don. Man, listen, it is going down tonight. I am super excited. And listen, I don't really want to waste any more time. I'm talking about Helen now from the DF Dub, the crib. Okay, y'all make sure y'all know that. Man, this has been long awaited, highly anticipated. I'm really excited, man. I know y'all always saying he always saying that. I'm always saying it because who else is bringing y'all the hottest guests on the planet? And when y'all tell me that right there, when you tell me that, then I'll be ready. All right. But until then, we the hottest, man. And we're bringing y'all the hottest tonight. I'm talking about Helen from the DF Dub, actress, producer, philanthropist, storyteller. Man, we've seen this queen on so many amazing shows, movies. I mean, she wears multiple crowns, man, just basically killing it. I'm super excited and very honored, man, to bring this queen on the show. I'm talking about the one, the only Shanequa Reed. Let's get her in here.
Hello.
What is going on?
I'm
Wow.
excited.
Listen, exciting is not the word being excited. I mean, I am just like on a cloud right now, man. And I
Oh,
want to thank you right now on the air for just taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the Vibe Show and vibe out with us a little bit. So thank you so much on behalf
of
of me
course.
and the team.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Like I said, I'm humbled and I'm honored to be on the show as well. So thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. How was your day? Let's start there. How was your day
Oh,
today?
it was good. I was just like, everyone knew, look, I got an interview today. So I'm getting up out the office ASAP. Like, I wish I could not have another side job, but hey, got to keep the bills paid. So I'm very thankful. I may have mentioned to you, shout out to a company I work for, Vim and Vigor. If you need a collagen supplement and if you've got, you know, citric hair is a really good product. If you got to get rid of bad like yeast or whatever that's going on in your system, it's a really good product. But the company itself, I'm thankful. If I didn't have them, a lot of these opportunities I would not be awarded because she
Really?
understands, and I'm very thankful for that. That entertainment is my world, and if I have an opportunity to book, she's okay with it. And so sometimes you need people like cheerleaders in your corner that believe in what you're doing and what you're about, and they see it, and they've been seeing the grind and the hustle, and that is working. So I'm just so grateful for them as well.
Absolutely. So shout out to them for sure. Definitely want to talk to you a little bit more about that. Once we get offline, I definitely
Right.
want to talk to you a little bit more. We got to tap in on that. Definitely see if we can make some magic happen with that.
Right.
We would love to support the movement of what y'all have going on over there. It sounds
Yeah,
like in a super amazing company. So we
it
definitely want to.
is. Yeah.
All right. So now let me go ahead on and man, people are jumping in on the chat. Love, I definitely want to go ahead
Ooh,
on and shout a few of these people out right
okay.
now. Vibe Show Casper, of course. Vibe Show Casper, he absolutely loves you. He's
He's
been
been
hooping
so
and having.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah, he's super, super dope. Shout out to the very lovely Strong Jewel. That is
Yes.
the glue over here.
Yes. Y'all team
So
is amazing.
definitely shout out to her. Shout out to Live Vibe TV. They're tapped in right now. And
Nice.
everybody else that's tapped in on the radio right now who's oh wait, got a shot. Big Ike. Ike is in the building. Shout out to Ike Morgan, our publicist on our side, man. Shout out to him. He's pulled up on the early check-in. Thank
Ah,
y'all so much, man. And shout out to all the commuters again, and everybody tuning in on the radio airwaves, man, for this
yes.
amazing interview tonight. So we're gonna get this thing going. Now, I
Nice.
want to start DF Dub, man, Texas
Yes.
native. I want to start there. Just go back on, let's jump in the time machine a little bit and let's talk about you
Mhm.
growing up in
Mm.
Texas before the lights, before this vision. Was it anything else that it may have been before you jumped into inspiring to be an actress before you got bit by that bug? Was it anything else, cheerleading, dance,
Oh, yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I my family, we're very athletic, especially on my mom's side of the family. I've had uncles that managed to make it to like the NFL. I had, unfortunately, an uncle who was part of We Are Marshall. If you've ever seen that film, he was part of the plane crash that went down. Unfortunately, my
Wow.
family thought he wasn't going to be on the plane. They thought he was sick, and he was on the plane. So we lost
Wow.
him a little bit early, but my family is just, that's what we love. So it's track, it's football, and I love volleyball. So even though my family wanted me to stick with track, they're like, you're naturally gifted at this. I even had a
Right.
cousin managed to make it to the Olympics, like that. We were just sports people on that side. But I was like, track is not my passion. I mean, I felt like even my parents tried to bribe me to like continue to run. Like I ran my freshman year, I didn't run my sophomore year, and they were like, we'll get you a car. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, any kid gonna be like, okay, you know.
Right.
So I ran my junior year, but I didn't run my senior year. And they were like, wait a minute. I said, look, that wasn't in the contract. You just said I had to run. You should have said, you
Right.
know, my junior year and my senior year. But volleyball, that was my passion. That was my love. I played that all the way up through college. I was lucky. One of my, she's Coach Beverly Humphrey. She's a soror also, which I lucked up that both of my coaches in high school and in college were Delta Sigma Theta. So I was like super
Wow.
excited about that. But yeah, she got it. And me and her, we had a conversation. I'm like, look, I probably won't be here my senior year. But she knew, like I said, volleyball was the thing. And then I managed, like I said, to go to UAPB Pine Bluff in Arkansas. And a good girlfriend, which is again another sorority sis, but at that time we known each other since fourth grade. She managed to get a volleyball scholarship at
Oh
UAPB
wow.
because they had just got off of having like athletic probation. Something was going on, and they was recruiting, and they saw her, and she's like, "Well, if you think I'm good, my best friend, you know, is better, you know." So I
Right.
sent
Right.
videos, all the thing. I wanted to be a regular student my, you know, college years. And I tell anybody, especially the kids these days, be a kid. Do not grow up too fast. You know, if they paying for
Exactly.
things, you can be in the dorms. If you got to have you a roommate, whatever, don't be trying to have your own apartment, do your own thing and be grown. No, stay a kid as long as you can. And
Right.
so she just so happened to help me. I got a chance to walk on. They were like, hey, as long as you're good every year, you got a scholarship. So I walked on board
Wow.
and I ended up winning a SWAC all tournament conference while I was out there. I'm 5'5", but I knew how to dink around some people. I knew how to navigate navigate. I'm ambidextrous, so I can go left side, right side, whatever side I need to hit on. And I played all
Wow.
around the court, so I'm very confident in my abilities in volleyball. you know, um,
Wow.
but that was my jam. And honestly, I did try to do a little bit of theater, when I was in my junior year, and volleyball and sports just stuck more for me. I was like, it was fun, but unfortunately, or living in Texas sometimes, even though that's your dream, some people kind of
Right.
help shut that down and like, are you really gonna make a life out of that? So
Right.
you kind of listen to it, you do and you don't, and I'm really thankful that my teachers, even my freshman year in high school, they always let me be creative. So anytime I would work on something, I could do poetry, I could do, something else that just related to what we were talking about. It didn't have to
Right.
be, document. I didn't have to provide an essay or something like that because they just believed in what I was capable of doing because that was just me. And I was thankful, like my ninth grade year, we had a theater production class. And so they were like, yeah, we need people to make a movie. And so my very, very first short film is that I got my grandmother's camcorder and I made a film about, and excuse me if there's any kids listening, because I would not advise you to do this. I sold my parents' car, and I
What?
got, yes. And so, of course, I got caught. But my sister was my sidekick, so we driving around, going places and stuff like that. How I screwed up was I didn't park it almost exactly the way it needed to. It was close, but not really. But when my parents came in, they could kind of tell, and they put their hand on the roof. So they knew, like on the hood of the
Right.
car, they're like, yeah, you've been in it. So it was a whole story. But with anything, I like to make light or comedy out of things. And so that's kind of what happened. And so I made a short film, and everyone that I know that I grew up with, they're like, that's what you should be doing. Even to this day, people like, I saw that in you. I know that's you. Like my family helped me. They were my actors, my cast. I remember having a poster board with my credits and stuff on there. I was just
Right.
having music playing so it could be the background score sounds. You're being
Right.
as creative as you can as a freshman. And back then we didn't have a television and film department. Now our school is expanded, it's big, they have that department. So I've just been thankful I've been able to come back there sometimes and just talk about what I've been able to accomplish. So it's really cool that you can bring something back to them and knowing that, their efforts weren't in vain. And so they really did help push you into that right direction.
Wow. So now see that's interesting. That's interesting right there. So, totally athletic. Could have probably had a career going that direction as well, but was inspired to go another direction even when people might have not been able to see beyond the trees. So let me ask you this though, because I feel like you could relate. Do you feel like people still dream or have dreams as much as we had back then? Do you still think that people dream like that? Because obviously, it's a vision and it's a dream, and to actually see that all the way through.
Yeah.
I just want to get your take on that.
I feel like people still do. I mean, I'm coming across folks now that they realize it's never too late in their life to still pursue it. I was on set with the lady who's 70. I didn't think she was 70, and
Right,
she
right,
told me at COVID, she literally quit her job at being an RN. Now, keep in mind, she's an RN, she's making bank, she's making money, but she knew her passion still. She wanted to pursue acting. And what did she do? Her first big gig ended up being a Super Bowl commercial. So it's never too
right,
late for anything. You know what I'm saying? At any
right,
age, like if it's something that you aspire or you put in the back burner, now you're probably comfortable in life that you can pursue this and you don't have the weight of being on your shoulder. Like, am I going to make enough money to pay my bills and things like that? Because you've kind of done that. So you can
right,
always reinvent the wheel or have an opportunity to go backwards if you feel like you never had that opportunity. And I felt like talking to
right,
her, it was just to me, I was like, it just lets you know, people, you still have a dream, you can still do it. So don't let that be
right,
a reason that you're too old or you think you can't do something, or you can get training if you need, if you really believe in yourself, take classes and stuff like that, but really give yourself the opportunity to see if you can make it happen.
right, right. At what point, because I mean, at this level of the game right now, I mean, you've
Mm,
worked across, television, you've done television, films, theater. Like, at what moment though that you really realize that, like, I'm going all the way with this. I'm gonna make a career with this?
At what moment was for me, it was just a life-changing moment. I'm just gonna be real, you know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of my family friends, they know this, and not to talk ill of anything, but I was working a job I probably should not have. Like I said, stay a kid as long as you can stay a kid. And I
Right.
was working for a pizza company because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. And it was Halloween. And so here I am delivering a pizza. Uh, like I said, took them forever to get to the car, and we finally exchanged money. I'm looking and I'm hearing somebody running, and through my peripheral, this dude runs towards me with a long barrel shotgun. And
What?
I could have sworn if he was like, hey, B, give me your money, I would have been like, here, we don't carry probably less than 25, $50 on us. You can have it. I don't know if I went in a state of shock or what happened, but I just remember asking him to repeat it again. And at that same moment, because my dad, he's no longer with me, but he's like, you're just like me, you know, you quick to think and stuff like that. And I touched the gun and I moved it out of my face. And I'm like, oh, this is real. And I was
Right.
already in reverse at the moment. And I put my car, I put it in, well, I was in reverse, but I put my foot on the brake. And I'm like, if he lets me touch this, then maybe he's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Right.
like, I'd rather be my fingers than my face, you know? And since he didn't repeat it, and whether I was in a state of shock or what, I just went ahead and I hit the gas. Whether I initiated something, I have no idea. All I know is by the blessing of God, my angels, I had protection over my face. I literally went to this motion and the bullet sprayed over me. Like it went through my
What?
headrest, it went through my roof, it went through between the two seats, like the passenger in the back, like literally in the middle. The fire department was like, "There's no way you should be here." Like it went through the front windshield. I don't know if I could have clipped him. I really don't know. But all I
Right.
know is by the blessing of God, I
Right.
went this way. Everything went like this. Bullet sprays all through my arm here. End up having nerve endings. I still have a piece right here in my chest that I feel.
What?
Glass fragments went into my eye. They were like, if it went a hair over, then I would have lost my eyesight, you know? So it's those type of things.
Jesus.
And then as you go into U motion, I hit like this tree stump. And in movies, my head goes crazy. By then, you know, we had these big blocks like cell phones and stuff, and I'm trying to fumble for it to call people. And I'm like, I would run into a cul-de-sac. That's just what would happen, you know. And you kind of
Right.
laugh, but you're
Right.
like, this is serious. Like, is the guy still behind me? What's going on? And I didn't see him. And I just know I remember calling my good girlfriend at the time. I'm like, hey, tell my parents what just happened. I gave her the details. Then I started driving. I let the place that I work at, told them what was happening. They had the police there. They had, you know, the fire department because I wasn't staying there, you know, and risk
Right.
anything else
Right.
happening. And they looked
Right.
me over. And I just remember the next day, my parents were there. I had to have surgery in my eye so they can get the glass fragments out. So to me, long story short, I wanted to finish some things at that location where I was at, but my parents were like, no, you're coming home. You know, that's kind
Right.
of what ended up happening. And I decided to still try to pursue my dream, still try to get a job in my degree plan. I knew I wasn't happy, but I finished, you know, finished school. I wanted to give it my all because I mean, IT, I have a bachelor's of science. I wanted to do it. You know, I was working with the National Interagency Fire Center. They were hoping I would have made it out there to Boise to work there. Like they invested in me. And they're like, what do you mean you're not coming? I'm like, I'm now I got to really pay for school. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
my life
Right.
just changed, you know, but people who really knew me, they were like, hey, I know about this opportunity or this acting gig or this thing going on here. And that's what kind of started fueling me again. And I'm like, oh, I still love this. I'm so passionate about this. So I'm doing like, you know, indie films back at home, working with people like Kelly Gray, Sean Hunt, and just excited to be a lead in some projects when I'm like, I've barely had a chance to do this. So I'm excited, you know, and
Right.
it's just, you know, the blessing of God. I just remember telling my mom, like, I got the job in IT, still trying to balance that. And I just told my mom, I said, look, if I'm able to get some people to move with me, don't be surprised if I move within a few months. I remember telling her that in October. By December of 2000, it was 2006. I managed to get three other people to move out there with me to Hollywood. And we were just like, we'll
Right.
see what happened. But the crazy part is one had no idea about anything with entertainment, but the other two ended up working with one of them and on a film project before. And then his roommate, I did a commercial print job with him before. So I was just like, oh, it was just an easy thing for like, let's do it. And three of us are still here. One managed to move back to Houston. He keeps saying he's coming back. I don't know, but I'm just excited that I had the people to come out here with me and to see what would happen because I really don't know what would have happened after that. Maybe I would have continued in Texas, or maybe I just would have stuck with being in IT, and just
Right.
went through that path. Like I really don't know, but the bug didn't leave me, and I was just thankful to have people around me that kept advocating and pushing for me. Like, hey, you should definitely continue. Don't stop this because I know you're passionate about it, and I'm just thankful to have that support from friends.
Right, right. That's dope. And to to move to LA, coming from Texas, like, what was that? Was that a huge cultural adjustment for you moving out there, or you just kind of fell in the blend?
I think I fell in the blend only because I felt like I've always been around just diversity. I'm like,
Right,
Texas can be diverse,
right,
and
yeah,
then, like I said, with my interns, I mean, being in Boise, I can kind of went in how many people I saw that looked like me when I was out there, so that was interesting. But yeah, to me, LA, I fell in love. I'm like, it was not as humid, and I
right,
felt like this driving through the canyons and stuff. It reminded me of the video games I used to play as a kid. I'm like, I was loving it. I'm like, it's not flat, So it was an easy
right,
transition for me. And then I was
right,
lucky too. One of my, and again, I always say sorority sisters because I'm like, they're everywhere. I love them to death. Like, I end up pledging with one and at UAPB. She lives here, like in California. So it's not like I didn't have someone close to me that I know as well. And then I found I got other family, out here too. So it just made it a
right.
very easy, transition. One of my cousins, he used to rap with Death Row and things like that in the past, and so it was kind of cool, to be able to know, people out here already. So it was an
Right.
easy transition for me.
That's good. And it was good that you had support
Hmm.
out there as well, because I've spoken to, so many different people, and everybody got their own different story, of
Right.
what the transition from where they, were born and raised or moved from, and following their dreams and then moving out to LA or New York, or, some people it was a culture change because they just went out there alone, with
I
no,
can believe it.
no connection to anybody out there or anything. So I definitely get
That
that.
can be lonely. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What would you say though, now that you're seasoned, been in the game for a while, what would you say is the biggest misconception people have about what it takes though to make it as an actress?
Oh wow, the most misconception that you can just show up here and it can happen. You know what I'm saying? And not
Right,
put
right,
the
right,
work in.
right.
But I will say
I
it
look
can
good. I'm
happen.
cute.
But the crazy part is, because I have a cousin and his name is Trey, so I'm gonna shout him out. But he is one of those few. He's a pretty boy, light skin, beautiful eyes, all the things. He would luck up and come in at a Roscoe's, and someone's like, "Ooh, I like your look. Can you show up at this location on this day?" He say,
What?
"Okay." Come to find out, he ended up being a Beyonce Lemonade commercial. I mean,
Are
a
you
Lemonade music video.
serious?
I said, "Stop it!" I said, it would happen to you." So it
For
does
real.
happen, but that is
For real.
you can just show up, be cute, and somebody's gonna spot you, and that's all you got to do. Work out and just look cute, you know.
Right,
But it's a
right,
lot of work. It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of hustle. People knowing who you are and being an actress. It's like that's not enough. Sometimes they're just like, okay, what else can you do? Or it's so many of you. So then you try to figure out how else can you navigate and get into that lane. And I just managed to luck up a really good guy friend. He writes books, and so that was another side hustle. Like I would help like proofread his books and things like that. And he managed to
right,
just make a comment. He was like, "Why don't you just make your own short film?" And I was like, well, I just had a crazy dream, so maybe I will do that, and
right.
help put in some production value in it And I had like a stunt person, I had, great score music, I had locations. I did all the work, I did all the things, and I made sure I put myself in the best light because I knew what type of roles I wanted to accomplish or what I wanted to do, like a detective, crime, drama, gritty, one of those type of things. And
Right.
so I was just like, let's just make it happen, and I got I've kind of done a little bit of casting before, but I just felt like let's just see what happens. And it turned out to be a dope project. And I managed to get it into a few festivals, and from there, that's what helped open the door. Just that alone. From there, people looked at you and took you more serious, and they were
Right.
like, oh, well, what else can you do? And then from
Right. Because you,
there,
you brought a
they
lot of value.
Exactly. And that's what they saw. And so I ended up partnering with, God rest his soul, Jerry Jackson back then. He had Smooth Sound Studio. Like we ended up at that time, it was just a small music studio, but then it transitioned to like a 65 square foot, like it was a pet storage company. And so we
Right.
gutted it out, painted it, did white cyc wall. We had the greens wall. We also put up a stage. We had space that if we needed to build sets inside, we still had a music studio inside if people needed, but we made sure we utilized the space. But just because I did that short film, like I said, it opened the doors to so many other possibilities. So then me and him, he
Wow.
was like, oh, well, then why don't like on Saturdays, I have showcases for musicians because that was really like one of his main passions. And then for me on Fridays, I will have like festivals for a screening. So for independent filmmakers that's up and coming, and some are already kind of out there, but they're experimenting and stuff like that. So
Right.
that allowed me to be able to network, but kind of have my own platform, to just get a chance. Kind of similar to like what Dave Brown does, now too. But it's like at my level, I'm just still coming out the gate, but I'm able to network with these Jahan and Exie Booker. Like I'm seeing their projects, at the beginning before they became who they are now. So it's cool. And
Right.
Reggie Gaskins, and here are all these people coming, Melanie Camacho. Like I'm getting a
Right.
network with a lot of people, and then I got to work with her later in life on another project, with Jerry. So it's just so many connections happen just from that one little change of
That
make
one
your own
little
short
thing.
film. And from
Right.
there, and that's where
Right.
I met Malika. That's what's crazy, at a San Diego Black Film Festival, and we connected from there. And so it's
Wow.
amazing how one door just opens up so many opportunities from there.
Right. That's man. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But from what I'm man, you have a different mindset. You're driven differently, and I think that's another thing that and you also fearless too. I think that's another
Mhm.
thing that attributes
My
to
sister gets on me
the
for that one.
success of your career. You know what I mean? Like you're really passionate and really fueled with the visions and goals and dreams that you want to accomplish. So I definitely commend you on that.
Thank
On your
you.
journey though, I'm pretty sure, and this is for all inspiring actors and actresses. Um, I know you probably experienced both rejection and, of course, we're seeing the success. Um, could you share with us any rejection that actually made you stronger, though?
Mm. Well, I would say a lot of times when we're auditioning, we're constantly always getting rejection because it's like if
Right,
you didn't get the job, then you know who did. you
right,
know.
right, right,
But I will say how it's made me stronger. I'm thankful for the management company that I'm with right now. I get a chance to see how they look at me, and they're seeing me for these co-starring roles, like these leading roles. And sometimes I have to remind myself, why are you thinking small? Why do you think you have to be this smaller character, maybe just a under five or something like that? Like if they're
right,
seeing you in a bigger light, then put that out there. Like try to be that person, exude that person. Like that's what you have to do because they believe in you and they're hoping that you book the job. And you have to look at it. The casting director, they see it too, because then you wouldn't have got the audition if they didn't.
right,
But for me, I get a chance. Like you don't want to be like beat yourself up. Like dang it, like who got it? But when you see like certain star names that actually got the gig, you can't be too upset because you're like, well, they got a name, they got a bigger follower. Maybe they were looking for a fresh face at that time, or maybe if
right.
that person they weren't available or something like that, you could have been next. Who knows? But I felt like that's what's driven me more in my rejection, knowing that, okay, well, that's who got it. but I see who that is. I just got to get stronger, so I can
Right.
be looked at in the same playing field with them. That's all it is. Because it's not really competition. It's just what they're wanting at that time. Some it could just be more of their followings and they have more of a name. And I get it, but sometimes,
Right.
again, it could be a fresh face. Just step your game up more, take more classes if need be. Or just like I said, just be stronger, within your choices and live with that,
Right.
because really that's all you can do. Put your best
Right.
foot
Right.
forward and move on. I always say let go and let God. That's all I can
Right.
do at this moment,
Absolutely.
because then if you keep dwelling in it, then you're going to end up just having so much. You don't want to have resentment. You don't be like, am I enough? Then it's like that energy comes into it, and you don't want that, because they can see it. They can see when you're nervous or if you're too hungry, certain stuff, like, and it's a turn off. So it's like you got to be comfortable in your skin too. They see all of that, when they're watching your tapings.
Right. Vibe Show 97.9, man. We just in here vibing out with the one and only Shanequa Reed. Hey,
Yeah.
y'all make sure y'all keep it locked in. Don't go nowhere. We know we got to go pay some bills, man. We be right back. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Ooh.
From the stage, unleash your inner rebel with Rapstar Energy Drink. With the untamed flavor of mixed berry, you'll get the most out of your performance. It's not just fuel, it's a thrill ride for entertainers and everyday warriors alike. Each sip transforms you into an unapologetic boss, ready to conquer life's gritty challenges. Elevate your energy, steal the spotlight, and ignite your wildfire with the audacious taste of mixed berry. Rapstar Energy Drink, where the ordinary bows to the extraordinary, and the edge is the only way to live.
And we're back. It's the Vibe Show. Shout out to one of our sponsors, Rap Star. Y'all make sure y'all go and get tapped in, man, with that beverage if you're looking for energy. Make sure y'all go get tapped in. It's an amazing, amazing beverage, man. They really coming up right now. So y'all make sure y'all tap in, catch the wave at the beginning. I'm telling you before it take off, because they going places. We're back. Now, I gotta ask you this, man,
Okay.
because and I gotta give a big shout out to Strong Jewel. She's a huge, huge fan. You were her favorite um star on the Oval,
What?
and yeah, oh, that's all she talk about, and it's crazy because she had been talking about you way before we even were introduced to your platform, introduced to you. She's been a fan of that show forever, and then when she seen that we had was blessed to have you coming, oh, she was super excited. So I definitely want to give her a special shout out because you are one of her
Yay.
favorites for sure.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Love it, love it, love it. I am so happy to have that opportunity. And again, that's through my management. But that made me really, made my heart melt. I was like, what? And that's like one of my mom's too, one of her like favorite shows. So I had to do my homework, to
Right,
look at it. But my thing is like knowing, again, like I said, wanting to be like a detective, those type of roles and stuff, to me, that was right up my alley. Like to be able
right,
to play that character and then be able to talk to Richard the way I was like, oh, you coming for me? This is what we doing. But
yeah,
the cool thing about it is, again, it's relationships, and I am again very thankful for a relationship I have, that one of my sorry sisters again, but Malika, she knew Javon, and so he plays, Richard.
right,
And when I got the information, we were getting ready to do like a step show that weekend. So I got a chance to celebrate with all of them because they found out when I found out, when we're having
right,
practice. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know Javon, And so she was like, well, let me make a phone call. And I told her, like, everything moved so quick. They were like, you went from a
what?
veil to you went to book within a few days to then within a few days you're on a flight that they're charting you out there, but not chartering, but they're putting you out there on a first class plane ride to Atlanta. You got car service, all the things. So I'm like, okay, you feeling good about those things, but it's like you're there for work though too. So you're
Right.
not here to
No,
play, not at all.
no,
It's the work, but working a little bit is play. But I was just like so thankful that she made the connection. So he was willing to meet with me a day before, just so we can go through our lines, just so I can get familiar with his pacing, certain stuff. And I'm very appreciative when you have actors that are for actors, like, yeah,
right.
let's work on it and stuff like that to see how I can make sure you're having your best life. He's been in the season forever. So it's one of those
Exactly.
things that I'm just grateful that he was able to set aside some time where I can meet up with him on the lot just so we can go through our lines. And from there, it helped me be able to change or critique some of the stuff that I was working on already. Because it's nothing worse to be stuck in your head and in the lines, and this is how you know you want it to go. And you're hoping when you show up, you're feeling that same vibe. And then they throw you a
Right.
wrench, and you're like, uh oh, your brain starts being haywired a little bit,
Right.
you know? And it's like, that's not what I was thinking. So I was very grateful to, like I said, have an opportunity to, meet with them. And it changed. Like I went home, did my homework, made a few, like I said, adjustments, and that was it. But things moved so quick on that show.
Right.
And there are so many other skits projects that I've worked on in the past where I've had to learn in less than 24 hours, like 3 scripts that are anywhere from 12 to 15 pages. Out of those,
Really?
I'm 2 to 3, like from 2/3 of whatever that's in that. So it's like I got a lot of work, and the fact that they would do that, it just helped me get better in being an actor and being able to retain information in a short period of time. So when I found out I got booked, it wasn't just 1 episode, it was 3 episodes, so it's
Right.
like you
Right.
had to crash and get all of that in your head, knowing that in a few days you're going to be shooting. Like I had maybe one day that I only had like a small, maybe a third of a page or something like that, but the second
Right.
day on set, I'm shooting all 3 episodes back to back to back.
But
And you have to be on it. You have
right. Right.
several cameras looking at you, which is similar, kind of like a style like the soap operas, because I've done General Hospital before too. And I was so thankful because I told my mom, don't be surprised when the first show I get on is your favorite, soap opera. And that was the first show I ever got. I said, oh God, I should have spoke more things into existence. Like, why did I
Exactly. That's
stop
what I'm
there?
talking about.
you know, but it happened. But it was still being in those type of spaces always prepare you for other things. And I'm so thankful for my God, because I feel like certain things he does and pushes me, it helps prepare me for something else that could be bigger, And I'm thankful, even though sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to do these skits, or you're thinking that they're small, but no, it sometimes can help you prepare you for something else. And I really, truly believe if I didn't do a lot of those skits, I would have not been prepared for that, especially I feel like I got thrown into it. Like, you're supposed to be at this level, you're supposed to know this and be able to
Right.
push out all of this in this time period. But I'm like, that's really not how it normally works. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, but it was just interesting to be a part of it and just seeing how they move. And they're well engined, like they're really great. So I was kind of amazed and just thankful to be on the set. But I would say my little blooper, I was just like, oh well, do I have time to go to the restroom? And here I'm in my full gear. And they're like, oh yeah, you got time. And I just finished like shooting, the 1 episode. I'm thinking I'm good, I can chill for a moment. Keep in mind, you're
Right.
in this huge Oval Office, the White House. So you're sitting here having to go down, go to the restroom. Maybe it took a while. In my head, I thought maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. I mean, what is,
Right.
take your time. As soon as I come back, oh, they're looking for you. I said, huh, what? And they're like, it's time for the next episode to shoot. I was like, can somebody give me my tablet? Like, because I'm needing to look at
Right.
my lines. I'm thinking I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Right.
like, oh shoot, like let me get this in my head right quick. And then you got the director like walking you through your blocking. So you're looking and listening, but you're also looking and reading, and it's
Right.
those type of things. But you nail it, and that's all you can do. You prepared for all of this. And so you got to believe and trust that this is why you're here, But
Absolutely.
I'm thankful I had the opportunity and I didn't let no one down. And I'm super happy when I saw it. I was so excited. I was like,
Oh,
I
we
was
proud of
crazy.
you. We are super, super proud of you, man. Like, and that's just the thing, like you said, opportunities, they don't come all the time. And when they do come, you have to be prepared. You have to be ready, because sometimes you don't have time to get ready. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that with us as well. Now you've played some amazing, amazing roles. Like I gotta talk to you about the Tina Turner
Mm. Oh
role.
wow.
Yeah,
That one there.
you gotta share that. How did
Oh,
that come about, and what was it like to play an iconic role
oh my
like that?
gosh. That
Portray
there
Tina
was
Turner?
Yeah, that brought chills to me. Like the crazy part, I just remember being in the car driving and I was getting this message from a girlfriend like, "Hey, I just referred you because she moved to Atlanta." And they felt that she was a perfect fit for who does the impersonation of Tina Turner. You know, they have the same body type, things like that. But she's like, I'm not here. So the director, Tamika Coney, also my soror, we're everywhere. She was just like, okay, well, let me talk to her. She did her homework, looking to see what I've done in the past and things like that. And we had a conversation. And so she was like, it was a very interesting type of play because it's a hybrid. So you
Right.
have the impersonator who does Tina, but unfortunately, you know, she didn't feel comfortable playing some of the roles because of the domestic violence with Ike.
Right.
And here
Right.
I am, I'm an actor, you know. So it was like, well, how do we make this work? Because she's great. She embodies Tina, you know. So it's like, how do we make
Right.
this work? So we're like, all right, let's have her at the beginning stages when she meets Ike. And then from there, I take over and make the transition. So I end up playing Tina from there until I leave Ike. And then after that, it goes back into the impersonator. So then you have a full performance. So people who love her and her shows and things like that, you kind of got the best of both worlds because you kind of got, you know, theater, and then you also got a live performance, you know, of her singing. So it was really cool. But we just learned to just work together. So there was moments
Right.
where I'm like, I'm not a singer. As much as I say or love to claim I can be, I'm karaoke singer. That's just what I am.
Right.
You know,
Right.
my sister, she can sing. This girl here, no, I can karaoke, you know. So we're like, okay, how do we do this? So we would kind of link up. Her name is Yo-Yo, like look, and so we can be in sync with each other. And then I just would lip sync and she just kind of matches along with what I'm doing. And it worked, you know, for certain
Right.
moments where I did need to sing without messing up anything, you know.
Right.
But to have that opportunity, and the director, I just love the fact that she was okay with us making a little bit changes here and there if we felt that, you know, it can help make the scene better or more powerful or something like that. Because I had to do stunt. You like you said, it is some domestic violence going on. So I had to deal with, you know, being creative or learning how to fall a certain way or making sure that he doesn't hurt me. Like you got to be on your
Right.
counts. And the great thing about it is that he's a choreographer, you know, as well. So he knew pacing and timing and could be able to move with me and us to figure it out. So I didn't have to worry about, is he going to hurt me? You know, like
Right.
if we say
Right.
we're going to do this, you know, your counts, we're going to do this, you know. And it worked out in my favor. And I was just so thankful. We only had 2 performances. And, you know, she told me like, and I'm okay with this. She was like, look, your name got on the ballot. You just didn't get enough votes to be
Right.
nominated. But my thing is just to be just to have my name mentioned. I take that as a
Absolutely.
win. You know, I'm like, we only had 2
Absolutely.
performances. I felt like some of the other, because I mean, I'm non-equity when it comes to theater. And so I'm just like, you know, this was my first theater project that I've done since I was in 8th grade. So for
Right.
this to be the first, and I was just like, to me, like I said, it was chills because I'm like, if I'm gonna get into theater, that's the perfect person to just try to emulate and just have that moment and to really like that's work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's not just
Absolutely.
some comeback night like type of project. I'm like, you got to do your work. I'm sitting there studying, trying to look at her behaviorism, certain things that she's doing, so I can, you know, you know, and do her, you know, justice and things like that. So I was just thankful to have that opportunity and just to try to embody her and like, how do I make sure that we give her light, her flowers, and a tribute? Because you don't want to focus too much of the, like I said, the domestic violence, because it's a full story that goes along with
Right.
her. But
Absolutely.
you know, but it's just, to me, it's a dream, you know, like to be able to work with somebody that has all of that body of work, and you know she's adored and the fans, and you just want to
Yeah.
make sure that they're happy too, that you told the story in a positive light, that they enjoyed it. And to have
Right.
like my family and friends to come out here to support it, they were just like, oh my gosh, they were like, I just felt like I was a fly, like watching Ike and Tina like getting into like arguments, like it was so real. You know,
Right.
I was like,
Right.
thank
Right.
you, you know. But that was our goal, you know, make it cringy to a little bit, like make it uncomfortable because it's real life. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to
Right.
tiptoe around things either. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was just
Absolutely.
an amazing opportunity. And I'm, like I said, thankful she let us have a little, freedom to play, in some areas and just see how we can make it better. But I'm very thankful that she, saw something in me, because then I ended up working on some more plays with her after that. So,
Right.
but I'm
Right.
very thankful. But that was my first. And we ended up winning at the NAA 31st NAACP Theater Awards. We got best, well, we didn't win, but we're nominated best choreography. But I still take that as a win, because we only had, like I said, 2 productions, and that's it. And some of these
Absolutely.
other theater productions, they've been around longer than us. And
Right.
I felt like
Right.
she put it together out of her own budget. I can only imagine with more money what we can really do with it. So I was very thankful.
Right. Which and definitely a milestone in your career. I gotta ask you this though, because I always try to get that, share that knowledge experience, especially from, the journey that you're on right now. What could you share that you've learned about the business side of Hollywood that, every inspiring actor needs to know?
Well, the business side, I mean, you definitely, I mean, if you don't know, like, you got to have reels. You got to
Right.
have your headshots. I mean, that's what your agent, your manager, what they're submitting. You need those. Like, that's your walking card. So, and then an IMDb page, if you have any work that you've done, that's pretty much like your walking resume. So you
Mhm.
can literally
Right.
say, hey, look me up on IMDb. They can pull up your name. They can see everything that you've worked on. So you want to make sure that that's current. Always say, take classes, go to a school. I even was like, what I'm doing the theater. I've always been fascinated with comedy. I don't know why I get a lot of comedy type of auditions. Maybe they see something in me. So I took improv. I did the groundlings and stuff like that, because those are the places, or not projects, but you just know that that's what they look at. Like, who that you want. They're going to look at your resume and see who all that you learn from, that you're not just thinking you can come out here and just be an actor. Like, are you taking classes? Are you investing in yourself? So those are things that you got to just keep in mind on the business, side of it, just tackling that. And then, again, if you can have some other outlet as far as other money coming in, so that way you're not so dependent on just acting. Because again, they feel that when you're, desperate, because you're like, you need that to be your paycheck to pay your bills, so you need to have something else going on until you don't have to, anymore. Um, and then learn the industry if there's other things you're interested in. Like, if you want to go into production, I took different routes. Like I said, I've done casting, I've been an
Right.
associate producer, I've been a producer. It is other sides of this to keep you working, because sometimes, I wasn't acting. Like, I did put myself in the background and just work on projects, and just, like I said, the casting or helping first AD. I've done a lot of first AD projects. And for people who don't really know what that is, that's like assisting the director in a sense. I'm the person that breaks everything down. Like, I get your script, I break it down and say, we're shooting these on these days because this is what makes sense. This is how long it should take us to do this. And I'm keeping everyone on the clock. Like, look,
Right.
it's the time, because everything costs money. If we say we're going to shoot this in 15 days, we need to shoot it in 15 days, because then you're going out of
Right.
budget. It's costing more money. And you start learning that time is money with this. And I'm having to stay on top of the casting, making sure that what days they're not available. So that way, you don't have conflict somewhere else. Then you got to also look at location. I've done a location manager before,
Right.
assistant and things like that. And then that's like, sometimes you're having to knock on doors to get signatures for approval to make sure it's okay for us to shoot in that area. You may be shooting 2 houses down the street, but Jackie
Right.
needs to know we're shooting 2 houses down the street, so she don't come being loud with her music so we can't play. It's so
Right.
many things that go along with this. But it's like, which side do you want to play on? Do you just want to be an actor, or do you want to know the business? Because sometimes acting, you may not always have that, unless you're, lucky that you get these big gigs that you don't have to worry about it. But it's cool to be able to put back and get money and then do your own productions. And so that's what I
Right.
want to get back into doing, is getting the
Right.
funding, so then you can get more of the production, and then you can, it's just, with productions, people need to realize it is a business. It's LLC. It's a company. You're literally hiring so many people to do a job. And that's why you're hiring so many people, because they're experts in what they're doing. And
Right.
that's why you're
Right.
relying on them, because if they're not experts, do you think we want to sit 12 to 16 hours for you to figure it out? No, we're
Right.
expecting, if you know what you're doing, you can give us a real time, like how long you think it's going to take to do it, 1-2 hours. Okay, we can go shoot something else until we know this is ready. It's just learning all these logistics and putting and piecing it together. People think like when you watch film, like, oh, they're just actors trying to make money, and it's not. It's so much that goes behind the scene that people don't realize. It's not just a pretty picture. It's a lot of
Right.
work that goes behind it, and I hate that it's getting very minimized, or it's just like, I don't know where some of the jobs and the work is going, but I feel like we need to advocate a little bit more so for folks understanding like why things cost as much, and why it's important to keep this running. Yeah, you can do indie, but then you talk about it when you don't have all these people working. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's
Right.
doing like 5 different hats.
Right.
And it shows when that happens.
Let me ask you this, because and it's great that you touched on that as well, because Eccentric Rouge Productions, talk to me a little bit about that, because what inspired you to create that? Um, that's dope.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, Eccentric Rouge is a different shade of red. That's kind of how I look at myself. That's also my line name. So I just always felt I was a little different. But I just felt like with it, it allows me to help open doors for people like me that did not know someone coming out here, being able to support for them. Like a young gentleman, I helped him get like managers. Like I'm able to help, coach, talk with, see if I
Right.
can help them navigate. Because again, I didn't have this, coming up. And so that's part of what Eccentric Rouge production is being able to create projects, work with people within the industry, piece it together, and us just be able to build, something successful together. That's literally what it boils down to. But more of it I want to do, which is getting deeper into it as far as like the grants and to have help so I can at least get some of these kids, because that's what I was doing back in the day, kind of more with Jerry. Like they can shadow, they can watch, they can work with other people that's in this industry. I know like the New York Film Academy, some of these other places can do that. But I'm
Right.
just like, sometimes you might not have the money for some of this. So if we can, allow them to work with folks, and I'm able to pay the person to be there, and then you can shadow
Right.
them, I'm helping, a young
Right.
entrepreneur grow and be able to figure out if it's something they want to do, because sometimes you may say and think you might want to be in this lane until you actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Right.
but that's what it really boiled down to me, because I'm like, I didn't have it. And I can just see, especially with the kids, and when you get older, just the light. Because, if you had the help and the assistance to do these things, you would, and that's really
Right.
what it boils down to. So, and I felt like working with Jerry back then had sparked that, in me to like, I want to continue this, that movement to be able to just help others, what that looks like. And it's just being available and having a team that can help, because that changes, because you work with different people and it's all whoever can help you. So even though Eccentric Rouge Production is a big umbrella, because sometimes it's me working along with other people and shadowing or bringing people in that can shadow and work with them, so it's just
Right.
been to me a positive change, and I'm just hoping to be able to continue it, and help
Right.
more in the future. So that's really what my ultimate goal is, just to be able to continue to do that and have more funding, and we make our own projects and just be able to fund those and get the people on board to, help with the kids, or it doesn't have to be kids, young adults, just to help them get into the entertainment industry and see if they can learn and see if it's something they want to do.
Right. Who's one director, actor, or a creator you absolutely want to work with in the future?
Mm. Oh, wow. When you say director, I'm like more or less like creator. I'm a Viola Davis person. I would love to be able to just be able to work with her. I feel like
I know, right?
um, she embodies just, I feel like how we are as actors. Like her diversity is just, it expands. Like she can be so many different people. Like when I saw her, in Woman King turn into, you know, this conqueror, and to know at her age, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that you
Right.
can still do
Right.
anything and it does not matter. That just lit me up. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this woman has played, a decrepit older woman to where she can barely do anything, to I'm this powerful, woman. So it's just, I think just
Right.
being able to work with her, I would be excited to But I know you mentioned, also, but I know she's not like a creator, she's an actor, but that's someone I admire and would love to work beside,
Absolutely.
one day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, she
Um,
inspires me. That's what I will say. I'm like, I
she
don't
inspires
fangirl too much, but I fangirl on
exactly.
her.
She inspires me as well. Like, I mean, she's definitely one of my favorites as well. One thing I do want to commend you on as well is, the energy. The energy that I just think that you are an overall great person. You know what I mean? And the energy that anybody that has the opportunity to be in your presence, it's definitely a blessing, because like you're not just taking from the culture, you're also trying to pour back into it as
Yeah.
well. And you're really a blessing to so many different people. And I know a lot of people on this planet that have encountered you feel the same way. So I just wanted to definitely and I haven't even met you yet in person. I'm
Right.
definitely looking forward to that as well. But I just wanted to just tell you that, that your energy is definitely infectious, and what you're blessing us all with here in the physical, it's definitely appreciated, man. The work that you're definitely putting the work in for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, just to hear it, and I've been hearing it a little bit more lately. And to me, is God, talking through others to let me know, like, don't
Right,
give up. You're on the right course. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I've given this vision for you for a reason. Just stick with
right,
the course, you know. And you
right,
hearing these people reminding you of that, like ex directors looking at your projects, like, I was looking through, the last clip that we did, blah blah blah, and I just want you to know you're an amazing actress. And I'm like, just out the blue. And it's just things like that that's just like, oh my gosh, thank you.
right,
Because that's
right,
moments when you probably were feeling low or
right.
something. And to hear
Exactly.
that, it's just like, okay, so don't give up. You are still doing good, so you
Right,
need that.
right,
And it's just that you're surprised, like when that does happen or when you hear, and it's just like, it's God, like just making sure that you know that sometimes, like you need to hear it. It's not like to build your ego up or anything like
right.
that. It's just to humble you so like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's just kind of how I
Absolutely.
take it. It's not in vain, because I mean, some of us, we've given up so much, and to make this career happen, and some people don't see what you've given up or sacrificed, in your life to make this happen, because it's you,
Right.
not that you're one track, but there's something you really want to do, but it does come with the sacrifices sometime. And it's up to you if
Absolutely.
you want to do it or not, or you cut your loss. But I'm not ready to cut my loss.
Right,
So,
right.
right. But
What
I
would
know,
you
speaking of,
say
uh-huh.
what would you say to anybody that's listening or watching right now, who feels like they're one rejection or maybe one rejection away from just giving up on their dreams, man?
And
Right,
if I can
right,
get you guys to help assist me, my sister was on the script. My mom was making sure the camera was okay. I felt like how I was going and flowing in the whole space was perfect for my audition, not really noticing that at the time, but I was still in that space. And okay, kids, I need y'all to do this, blah, 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 blah. And so the energy came when I recorded, kind of that feeling, again, not thinking of it. And so I submitted it. And next thing I know, I get a response like, hey, we're available. And then I'm like, okay, but you need to hear things from a couple more days. And then it's like, hey, we want to book you. And I was like, huh, what? Okay. And then all you
right,
heard was like, it was a shoe company. They didn't really elaborate too much on it. And then you find out, oh, this is Puma. Then you find out, this is Emery Vegas, project.
exactly.
And he's the brand ambassador. And I'm just like, okay. So the Art True Group, thank you so much. They call him Herb, but Eric, Herbert, and like he believed in me, he saw it, and I'm like, I didn't realize who all I was going to end up meeting along this journey, and who all was
Right,
on part of this
right,
project. So it's just, you never know. You may think you're one rejection away, but you could be one yes away. Like you can't think that
right,
way. You know what I'm saying? So I say always just go for it, put your best in it. You never know what's going to happen, who's looking at you on that other side of the camera, or what opportunity that you just might be blessed with. I did not know that. We managed to get into Tribeca X. We won the LA Film Festival, and we got a
right,
silver telly off of this.
right.
I can't make it up. I was just like, okay, it's just was, to me, I was amazed. Like, wow, like things like this can happen. Got Tori's in it. It's just an amazing opportunity. It's just, you just never know. So never give up. That's pretty much, don't. Just get that out of your head, you know, unless this is nothing, unless it's nothing you want to do, or if you're finally like, I'm just completely done with it. But if you feel like you're still straddling that fence, you just may be that one yes away. So don't stop. Don't quit.
I love that. I love that. As we're wrapping up, what can we look forward to in the future? Up and
Well,
coming projects. Well, I know you got something cooking.
uh, well, I'm kind of on the hush about it, yeah. But I'm hoping is another play, which would be mimicking another great singer. So we're in
Uh
talks of
oh.
that. So I can't really say that one yet, but I'm just like, please
Oh,
make
okay.
that one happen, because I'm like,
Okay.
oh, that would be pretty amazing. So that one right now we're on hold. But I know, like, I did the Project Menopause. I know we're trying to get that back out. We would love to take that to Broadway. So that's something we're working on behind the scene, or off Broadway. We're working behind the scene to get investors and sponsors on board. We end up trying to push it even during March, like the Sisterhood Month, and just having women that share their stories and what they're going through with menopause, to be able just to help insight to other women, whether they're going through it, they're past it, or they need information about certain things, having doctors. So that's kind of something else that I'm passionate about and pushing to see how we can make it happen, because it's a monologue, it's real life stories. You know, we all go through different changes, some happy, some sad. You know, my unfortunately character was another domestic violence one, but that's kind of how
Right.
it took, because of the other role that I worked with her before. But it's just, you know, that's a passion project as well. And, you know, I'm still going to be on the Oval. I have one more episode. So guys, girls, everyone, please tune in. It's next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but still watch the Oval anyway this Wednesday. But I'll be on
Absolutely.
the next episode, episode 15, because yeah, me and Richard gonna really. But
Don't give it to us. Don't give it to us. You know we're gonna be tapped in. We
right.
man, listen, I'm telling you, you know you're gonna have to come back.
Thank
You know
you.
you're a part of the Vibe family now, and you know you have that support and that love from us. It's just not enough time on the radio, man, to be able to get it all in. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
and no.
So you definitely know that we got your back. You're part of our family now, and whenever you have some amazing things going on or whatever, you have direct connection with me now, and we would
Mhm.
love to continue to help be a part of the promotion process, to help any way that we can to support and help you push projects and things out there like that on our side with what we can do. I
Aw,
definitely
thank
want
you.
to. I got one more question I want to ask you though, as we're closing up and wrapping out. And before we do that, I want to do some shout outs real quick. I want to shout out um, at Mark D. Harris 2062. Really appreciate that comment, my brother. For real, for real. Thank you so much for supporting this queen. Shout out to Vibe Show Casper. Shout out to Live Vibe TV. Um, Shout out to, let's see. Shout out to I'm just gonna say it. DAMI. It's Damia H. Wow Goose 65. She said, "I love you on the Oval, and you are my favorite character actress. Hope y'all get renewed for another
So
season."
true.
Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Queen, for that. Ike. Shout out to Ike Morgan. I gotta try the energy drink. I appreciate you, brother. He say love this interview. Um, Casper, you are inspirational. Um, let's see something here. Strong Jewel. She left a comment on here as well. I definitely want to get this comment in for you. Where is it? Oh, she said, oh, she says she love you. You're her favorite character on the Oval. She told me that in person. And shout out to everybody that's on the radio airwaves that's tuning in right now, man. We definitely want to thank all of you guys for the love and the support And I want to ask you this, and go ahead and give your shout outs to anybody that you want to give flowers to, your team, crew, family. Before I ask you this last question,
Mhm.
go ahead and give some flowers out.
Can I show this again? I know I did that horrible, but
Absolutely,
Them and
do
Bigger, Collagenate, their liquid collagen supplement, which is really, really, really great. It helps keep me looking toned and in shape. So I know if they're out there trying things, but again, this company has helped me keep everything working while I'm in between
Right.
jobs. So sometimes you got to have those people that's pushing for you. I think I may have mentioned to you kind of slowly before. My dad did pass away over 5 years ago due to cancer.
So
So this
sorry to hear that.
couple has really
Right.
been there for me. You can use GoGlow if you want to, 10% off if you decide to buy something. But her husband, which is interesting, his name is Rick. My dad's name was Ricky. And I just so happened to
Wow.
start working there during COVID time. And then I lost my dad 1 year after that had happened because I used to be a flight attendant. And so I'm just thankful because sometimes you still need that male guidance a little bit. And
Right.
he's
Right.
come not like a
Absolutely.
dad, but just kind of I feel like he's kind of helped a little bit, like certain things I might need as a father figure, because
Right.
he's in his
Right.
70s. It's just you appreciate things and you just never know your journey and why people are brought in your life for certain reasons and things like that.
Right.
And I feel like because my family all is in Texas. So that's why like I said, I don't mind shouting them out because they've been really a good support system for me since then. But yeah, outside of that, my mommy, I love you, love you, love you, love you. I know she's watching, as well. She's not really good at all of the chatting and the texting and stuff like that. And I know my sister, my family, like I said, everyone's in Texas. So I just want to say thank you so much. And, thank you. I know Malika Blessing, that is my sorority sis. That is my rock. If I ever need
That's
anything,
my
she's
girl.
down for me. So love her, love her. And like I said, director Tamika Coney, she's been amazing as well. And my management team, Eileen Farrell, she's awesome. She, like I said, believes in me too. And she's really pushing me for these big projects. So
That's
I'm just hoping to
awesome.
book
Love
another
her
one
for that.
too. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just
Um,
thankful.
I gotta ask you too, as we're closing up, when people look back though at your journey, years from now, because you still got so long to go. Like it's so much more you gotta bless us with, man. Um, what do you want your legacy though? Have you ever thought about that? What do you want your legacy to be remembered as?
Well, I mean, a person who gives back, but I know with the whole generational wealth, I would like to grow my company to be bigger than what it is, to
Okay.
actually, Tyler Perry type level style would be amazing.
Absolutely. We
You know what
claiming
I'm
that.
saying?
We claiming
Claiming
that.
it. So I'm just like, and then just to be able to employ family that they, because I have family that I'm noticing and I can tell, and they're even coming at me like, hey, I want to be an actor because they see like you're doing it is working and they see the
Right.
creative side of them. And so they're asking like, what can I do? And I'm trying to connect them with
Right.
people I know in Texas. And I'm like, you're going to need a reel, you're going to need this and blah, 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 and
Yeah.
know people I
Right.
can connect them with out there. But overall, I'm like, man, if I can have something like that on that level and be able to bring my family in, that they can also work in, if it's something that they choose to do, and then just make it bigger. Like I said, just for everyone else to have generational wealth. I love the platform that he's created and made people billionaires. I'm like, I'm for
Absolutely.
that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So that's
Right.
kind of what I would love to be able to do. Because I'm like, yeah, like you said, it's still I have time on my side. It's just the more work that needs to be done. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Right.
But I'm like, it starts with getting the funding, the grants, and just be able to do back, more of your productions again, and then just start building. I would love to have sets again and have stages. Like I said, I felt like I was working on that at one point. Then life happens, but you fall off the horse, you get right back on it. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? So
Mhm.
so I love it. So that would be what I would love to be able to leave and just be able to continue that throughout our generations that we have this. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
wanted to have different businesses. Like I want our family, we're good. We're good.
Right.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's put those social platforms out there and ways that people can actually connect with you if they want some advice, or just put those ways out there that people can actually
Yeah.
connect with you.
You can definitely, Facebook is Shanequa Reed. On Instagram and TikTok is Shanequa 363. you can find me that way. I think TikTok is Shanequa_363 because something happened and I never did try to fix it. But the 363 is a funny story as kids because we had beepers back then, you know.
Right,
So if
right,
any of
right.
your friends were somewhere and they called you or they put their number in, if they had a 363 on the back of it, we knew who it was. And it was EMD on the phone, which back then was every man's desire. It was a silly little thing that us kids had, you know, or whatnot.
Right,
But
right,
it just always stuck. So it was like 363. So that's just kind of like, if I do anything, I'm like, I know it's not gonna be a Shanequa 363, you know. So
right.
that's
I love that. I love that.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very, very talented, the queen, Shanequa Reed. We want to thank you on behalf of the whole Vibe family. We just want to say thank you so much. We
Thank you.
wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now and everything that we know you're going to be doing in the future. We love you. We're rooting for you. And we
Thank
can't
you.
wait to have you back on the show again.
Love you guys back. Thank you so much.
It's the Vibe Show 97.9, man. Another amazing episode, man. We love y'all so much. Again, wishing y'all more blessings and more success with everything that y'all doing out there. And also, y'all remember, y'all know my slogan, more love, less hate makes the world a better place. We sure need more love right
Yeah.
now in this world, man. Until next time, it's the Vibe Show 97.9. We love y'all. Me and Shanequa, we are out of here. Peace.
Bye.
Tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy this episode, hit that like, share, and subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you'll be notified every time another exclusive Vibe Show Live episode goes up. Thank you for all the love and support. Peace.